Welcome back to Twin Football. It is Friday, November 8th, which means we got our NFL Week 10 picks for you today. We got Premier League picks coming later on today as well, so come back and join us. Thank you for joining us today. Let's go ahead and dive right into it after Thursday night's exhilarating game between the Bengals and the Ravens. Such a high scoring back and forth game. We did get the win there as we locked in last night the Ravens to go 2-0 against the Bengals this season and improve to 7-3. That puts us finally in the top 100,000 here on ESPN. So go ahead, get your picks in on ESPN, pick along with us, join our Twin Football group on ESPN, and you can pick week to week and see how you do and how we do. We currently are looking to keep pushing up and up the rankings. And so let's go ahead and start with Sunday's game in Germany as Daniel Jones will take on Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young looking to go on a winning streak here after getting the win against the Saints last week. But for me, that defensive line of the New York Giants is going to be a little bit too much for Carolina. Last week, the Giants, first time this year, they scored over 20 points and lost the football game. That is because that defense usually comes to play. So if that offense can finally get points up on the board, they usually are going to walk away with a win there. I think it is going to be that they can get to the 20-point mark against Carolina, especially in Germany, all the way across the pond. So give me the Giants to beat the Panthers. Another battle of rookie QBs sees Drake May take on Caleb Williams this time. Caleb obviously losing out to Jaden Daniels on a Hail Mary a couple weeks ago. He gets another shot at a QB in his QB class as the Patriots come to Chicago. The weather going to be a nice fall, crisp 50, 60 degrees out there. Both of these QBs I would have loved seeing how they would be doing if they had a coach like Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been able to go to his strengths, roll out of the pocket, get some easy checkdowns, get some screen passes, and that is all thanks to Sean Payton. We've seen Drake May and Caleb Williams struggle in weeks this year. The major reason is coaching. And so not having those offensive minded coaches has really hurt these guys. The defense from the Bears are going to want to respond after getting gouged in the rushing game against Arizona. A bottom five rush defense right now, the Chicago Bears have, but we know that they can play better than that. So I am going to lean the Chicago Bears here, but I do like Drake May's ability to run and ad lib to help maybe get some points on the board for the Patriots and keep this game a little bit closer. But I think in the end, the Chicago Bears will pull off the win at home. Buffalo will travel to Indianapolis. Buffalo is quietly, methodically racking up these wins here, 7-2 on the year, a better record than teams like the Ravens, who everyone is super high on. And they just keep winning. They play complementary football. We thought for sure that they were going to be a run heavy offense, but they can get the ball down the field, throwing the ball. The addition of Amari Cooper has been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. Indianapolis Colts, all of the noise and effort issues has really pushed them down this year. A lot of people were expecting a lot more from them, and people like Anthony Richardson having a backup with Joe Flacco as well would have been something that could have grown Anthony Richardson in terms of his mentality and terms of learning and getting that experience from Joe Flacco. But that has not worked out. So give me the Buffalo Bills to beat the Colts. The Denver Broncos turned over Kansas City 5 times last year in the game in Denver, but this one is at Arrowhead, which is why I'm going with the Chiefs. Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes' ankles, which seem like jello recently, are going to maintain themselves during this one. We know that Denver defense can be stingy. Patrick Surtain, obviously one of the best corners in the league, is going to cause some issues. We'll see if he lines up with DeAndre Hopkins, who had a 2-touchdown performance in that overtime win against Tampa Bay. So we will see how the Chiefs can cope with that Denver Broncos defense. But I think the story of the Chiefs this year is they just find a way to win football games. 9-0 is on the board. Now, in the reverse fixture here, when this goes back to Denver, I would have taken the Broncos here. The New Orleans Saints will be playing their first game without Dennis Allen, their head coach, fired after losing to the Panthers, which you just have to do. Derek Carr came back, and they still took the L to the Carolina Panthers. I think this was a long time coming for them. Thoughts out to Chris Olave. Rarely in the NFL do you see a play so egregious that you get 4 immediate flags from the 4 corners of the field. That hit on Chris Olave over the middle, a hospital pass, as we like to call, leaving the wide receiver exposed like that, and he took a nasty hit. Should have been flagged, was flagged, but hopefully he can come back soon. They take on a high-powered Atlanta Falcons offense. We know that defense is prevent defense, but that offense can score quick and in a hurry. So give me the Falcons to beat the Saints in New Orleans. San Francisco looking to get Christian McCaffrey back as they travel cross-country to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now listen to me carefully when I say this. If Christian McCaffrey does not play in this game, I think Tampa Bay will win this football game. And the reason why is because Todd Bowles will blitz, 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 blitz. Brock Purdy, we have seen over the year, he tries to play some hero ball in these situations, forcing the ball where it should not go. Christian McCaffrey will alleviate all of that if he can play and go full slate on Sunday. If he cannot, even off of a bye, I actually like Tampa Bay here on a short week. I do think he will play. He got limited practice on Wednesday. He got some practicing during the bye week when they were off last week. And he has been in that bonus practice Monday, limited on Wednesday as we get closer to the game week. But I do like Christian McCaffrey to play. I do like Christian McCaffrey to be that release valve, that dump down back, create those 3rd and shorts instead of those 3rd and longs. Allow Brock Purdy to settle in nicely, not force the ball, get rid of the ball because they're ahead of the chains instead of behind the chains. All thanks to Christian McCaffrey. He is the one that makes this team go. But if he does not play, I do like Tampa, despite their injuries, to get a win at home against San Francisco. Pittsburgh travels to Washington, looking to be the first team to win in Washington. That is not run by Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels sitting at 7-2. Washington Commanders fans have to be over the moon at this start. I don't think anyone would have expected this type of start. Yes, their schedule has not been very good. They've only played 3 teams with a winning record so far this year. They went on to lose 2 of them against Tampa Bay and that lopsided loss against Baltimore. They did get an impressive win against the 5-4 Cardinals, though, so they will be looking to do the same against the Pittsburgh Steelers team, who is coming off of a bye. Russell Wilson, 2 games so far, 25-plus points in both of those. I think the defense, well rested, is actually going to be a factor in this one, so I like the Steelers to be the first team to get a win in Washington as the away team. Minnesota looking to go to Duval County and get a win as the away team here as they take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Doug Peterson has to be the next coach up here on the hot seat. It's just a matter of time of when he gets fired. I think Minnesota goes in and gets a win and pushes him to the sword. It just hasn't been going well there in Jacksonville. Tennessee will take on the Chargers after getting an overtime win against the Patriots last week, where the Chargers got back their weapons, felt good passing the ball down the field, felt good running the ball like we know Jim Harbaugh wants to do. A healthy Chargers team at home. I'd like them to take on Mason Rudolph and get the win. Dallas welcoming the Philadelphia Eagles. It's time Dallas takes a good look at themselves and figures out if they want to start the rebuild now or in the future. This is going to be a good rivalry game, but I like the Eagles here. Saquon Barkley running all over this Dallas Cowboys defense, and maybe we'll see another 180 backwards hurdle there. Sunday, we'll see the Jets take on Arizona in Arizona. The Cardinals on a 3-game winning streak here. The issue we have with the Cardinals is the inconsistency from the passing game. Kyler Murray, hot one week, cold the next week. We know that they're going to want to run the football. We know that James Conner can carry that number 1 back workload that 25 to 30 touches a game workload if it's working. It worked perfectly well last week against the Chicago Bears, 29 points on the board, and just ran it down their throats. They're going to look to do the same against this Jets defense, who, with the addition of Reddick back after his long holdout, 10 days rest, I'm hoping that defense is going to start putting the pieces back together. And so I do like the Jets here to get the win because I think that they can stifle the run game enough to force Kyler Murray to throw the ball down the field. And I like that matchup there. We'll see if Kyler Murray can run the football to extend drives and keep this game a little bit closer. But I do think the Jets offense combined with a rested Jets defense over the last couple of weeks that has been improving since Saleh left and they had that kind of drop off. They have been improving. Give me the Jets here to get the win. Dallas taking on a injured, ravaged Houston Texans team that are on 10 days rest because they did take the L to New York on Thursday night last week. They get the home game here, but this Detroit Lions offensive line, this Detroit Lions run game, they get J-Mo back after his 2-game suspension for substance abuse. Dan Campbell said he's going to get thrown right back into the mix. That just adds another dynamic weapon to this offense that doesn't even need it really. And so I think Detroit's offense is just going to take the ball and score. Jared Goff has been phenomenal with the football and his decision making. Give me the Lions to go into Houston and get the win. The Dolphins sitting at 2-6. Obviously, the injuries early on to Tua were the issue. This offense just likes to run. They like speed. They can put up some points, but it just seems like they can't get wins. When you look at the stat sheet, they're a stat stuffing type of team. Tyreek Hill over 100 yards. Devon Achane over 100 yards, maybe 50 yards receiving as well. Jaden Wallow over 100 yards, and yet they still can't win football games. The Rams, on the other hand, getting healthy as well and are able to put up good performances. Give me the Rams on Monday night at home to get the win. And there you have it, all 14 picks from us at Twin Football. We look to stay under that 100,000 ranking mark. We are pushing for that 92nd percentile, 91-48 record. We went 13-2 last week, so hopefully we can go 14-0 and get our first ever 100% record week. Go ahead and get your picks in and enjoy the football.